The Delaware County Literacy Council was formed 45 years ago by community members in Chester, Pennsylvania, who noticed their neighbors were struggling with reading, writing, and math. In the last 45 years, over 20,000 adults have come to the Literacy Council to achieve their goals. Today, as then, the Literacy Council staff and volunteers meet adult students where they are. Some are new immigrants seeking English language skills so they can restart careers they pursued in their home countries. Some are citizens returning from incarceration who are ready for a second chance. Some never finished high school and hope to earn their GED. And some are working hard to overcome challenges and just need a little encouragement and a safe space to learn. These dedicated adults study basic literacy, English as a second language, ESL, and GED preparation, all for free, so that they can improve their lives and thrive in the workplace and the community.
Good evening. My name is Pat Gunnan, and I am the Executive Director of Delaware County Literacy Council, and welcome to the Expert Academy Telethon. I first want to congratulate all of this year's champions of adult literacy. Tamaji Kantanger, Neighbor to Neighbor, and Dr. Monica Taylor. They truly deserve to be honored. Secondly, I want to thank all of our experts and special guests who have given so generously to make this year's telethon an enriching and entertaining experience. You'll meet them in just a little bit. A special thanks goes out to Lucy Bustamante from NBC 10 Telemundo 62 for hosting our event tonight. The work that we do day in and day out at Delaware County Literacy Council has a great impact on the adults who come to us in hopes of improving their lives. Imagine what learning from these experts would be like if you couldn't read the recipes or the lyrics, or if you didn't understand English or the digital world. These are the challenges faced by adults who study at the Literacy Council. Some are able to read, but struggle with comprehension and vocabulary. Some, like past student champion Tatiana, come to the U.S. knowing only a handful of English words. DCLC meets them where they are and provides a safe place to learn, even if it's in a Zoom classroom. I urge you to keep these students in mind as you learn from the experts this evening. Thank you, everyone, and now on with the show.
Hi, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Delaware County Literacy Council's Expert Academy Telethon. I'm Lucy Bustamante of NBC 10 Telemundo 62, and I am a proud resident of Haverford, Delaware County, and I'm really excited to be here this evening for a really special cause. I bring you greetings from DCLC's Board of Directors, their staff members, volunteers, and of course their students. We wish we could gather in person this year, and I know that day is going to come, but for now, we're just going to do our best to keep everyone safe and healthy. So this evening's celebration of adult literacy is coming to you online, hopefully for the last year. Delaware County Literacy Council, or DCLC, as we sometimes call it, provides free literacy instruction to adults in Delaware County, adults who didn't finish high school, adult immigrants who need to learn English, and adults who want to improve their skills so they can be better parents, workers, and community members. As a child of political refugees from Cuba, my siblings and I learned English as young children, Spanish being our first language in this country. We were very used to translating for our parents as they navigated running their own tailor business with very broken English. So I know that having allies like the Delco Literacy Council is crucial to helping all of us make a healthy and productive transition into life and creating genuine friendships and also successful kids. So thank you for your kind mission and your participation tonight. This evening, we will be celebrating the 2021 champions of adult literacy and learning from some experts who have truly phenomenal information to share and also who have very strong ties to Delaware County. So I know I'm looking forward to the comedy writing workshop where we're going to learn from Phil Rosenthal, the creator of Everybody Loves Raymond. And by the way, Phil will be interviewed by his wife, Monica, who plays Amy on the sitcom, and she is from Delaware County. So it should be a very exciting evening of learning and fun with a few surprises along the way. Also, remember that the reason we have gathered today, this evening, is to support the Literacy Council with our donations. So you can go to delcoliteracy.org to do your part. So this is a telethon, and we want all of you out there to join. So throughout the evening, we're going to be checking in to see how we're doing in terms of donations. And then, of course, we have an ambitious goal this year of raising $50,000. And with your help, I know we can get there. So let's start learning from the experts. To kick us off is a performer who has appeared on Broadway and in film and in television. She was born and raised right here in Delaware County, and her workshop is called Anyone Can Sing. Please help me in welcoming Kathy Deach.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the telethon. I'm Kathy Deach. I'm a native of Ridley Park, Pennsylvania, in Delaware County. Some call us Leadham Estates off the 420 highway. You might know that well. I was proud to live there until I went to college, and I still have some family who's over there. So I love this cause. I love that I got asked to take part. And I'm going to talk a little bit about singing, but they asked me if I could show you a little bit about singing first, kind of basically to like show that I kind of know what I'm talking about. I happened to be in a couple of Broadway shows, one of which was a little show called Wicked that you might know. I was in the original company. Thank you for the platinum album. And my first Broadway show was Footloose. I got to play Earlene in Footloose, and I used this song to audition. I'm just going to give you a little a cappella audition cut of what I used to get into that show. You better think about what you're trying to do to me. Oh, you better think. Let your mind go, let yourself be free. Let's go back, let's go way, oh, way back when. I didn't even know you could have been a too much more than 10. Now, I ain't no psychiatrist, ain't no doctor with degrees, but it don't take too much IQ to see what you're doing to me. Oh, you better think about what you're trying to do to me. Yeah, think. Now, you might gotta let yourself be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Give me some freedom. Oh, freedom. Yeah. It's always weird singing a cappella, but there you go. I sang that, and I got to be in a Broadway show. It's pretty amazing. I think my Delaware County accent definitely helped me with that, by the way. Philly accents are very good to help project your voice and not hurt it. I'm just saying. So I'm not here to give you crazy insider tips on how to be on Broadway. I mean, this could help you get there, but the truth is that if you're somebody who sings in a choir or sings in the shower or would like to be a little better at their karaoke song on Tuesday nights, there are things about our voices that are universal. And I wanted to call this workshop Anyone Can Sing because anyone can sing. When I was performing on Broadway, I got to work with a company called Broadway Classroom, and I started to teach. I started to teach workshops. And then I started teaching at a BFA program that got us training in something called complete vocal technique. Now, I just want to say that I am not affiliated with the school at all. I am not an official CVT teacher, but everything that I have learned from them has been completely beneficial to my teaching, and I highly recommend it. There's an app for that, is that all I will say. And it came out of scientists in Denmark who studied the voice for 7 years, using all kinds of scans, MRIs, while people were singing, what happens in the brain, what happens with certain muscles, what vowels make certain positions, and in your tongue, in your resonance. So I found out basically from them that anyone can sing. Basically, CVT is a technique about releasing and letting go of tension. So I know that releasing tension is really hard, but the great news is that once you do, the singing is so easy. You realize making noise is so easy, and we all make noise. So another thing about singing is that people think of us having like breaks in our voices. Like my voice only goes up to this certain point and then it stops. And that's actually not true either. Your vocal cords are the length that they are, and they vibrate at certain places where they vibrate. My vocal cords don't really look much different than yours. So there are a series of exercises you can go through to sort of test that theory, which brings me to my volunteers. I'm so excited to bring on to this amazing call Monica Taylor and Pat Gunnan, who are going to help me. Hello! How are you, Loverlies? Are you Loverlies good? That's good. That's good. Are you ready to make some noise?
Yes.
Do you believe everything that I've told you so far?
100%.
Yes. Monica feels a little skeptical. She's like, I don't know about that. Okay. One of the first things I want you to do, I want to take you through your entire range from the very top to the very bottom. Now, like I said, there are different modes of singing. The one that actually you can sing in this mode your entire range up and down is called neutral mode. And if you've had any other kind of voice lessons, I don't know if you guys have done choir, but they usually call it head voice, probably because it feels really floaty and the sound kind of feels like it's like up here. I like to say it's like a balloon on a string. That's what the sound feels like. But it isn't just the upper part of your range. You can be in neutral all the way up and all the way down, and there's no projection. It doesn't get loud. It's, you know, stays at medium. And there are two vowels that we make that go from the very, very tippy top to the very bottom and can only be sung in neutral. And that is a pure E vowel, e, or a pure oo vowel, hoo, hoo, hoo. And I'm talking like an oo, not ew, which is a very Delaware County thing to do. I don't know if you guys are from Delco, but we like to say ew a lot when we're supposed to be going ooh. We pronounce our ews, right? So no cheating. We have to really act like an owl when we do this exercise, okay? And Monica, I'm going to make you go first. I want you to go from the very, very tippy top of your range to the very bottom. And I can actually demonstrate for you both once, okay? Let's see if I can do this. That's a bomb at the end. You might hear my dog in the background because he really likes singing too. So he's laying down, but he'll make a little noise. So Monica, do you want to go for it and try it?
Sure.
Let's hear it.
All right. That's all I have.
Yes, excellent job. High five. Okay, so so Pat, I don't know, Monica did a very big range. Do you think you can unmute and let's hear it? Let's do it.
Oh, that was wrong.
That was not wrong. Like a sigh at the top. Go all the way up. Oh, yeah. You're like, oh. Good. Very, very good. Excellent. Are you sure you're not in the choir, Pat?
Not after that first note, it won't.
They're not going to kick you out. So, so that's great. So what was the next thing I want to do? So we have this interesting thing. So that wasn't really projected, right? Do you guys feel how that was like really like, oh yeah, I'm not like blowing anybody's eardrums out. I'm just keeping that really centered and really like not fancy, not trying to get someone's attention across the street. Because I all know that we can project when we want to. Yes? Hey, like, get out of my car, or whatever. You know, you can tell the neighborhood I live in when I say that. That's the first thing I would say. Anyway, so we all know we can project our voices. So this is what happens when we decide to project our voice. CVT calls it twang. And it creates that metallic sound, right? So neutral wasn't really like pingy. It was pretty like warm and soft. So when we wanted something to project and really like they say, you know, hit the back of the house when you're talking about singing in theater, right? Make your voice go all the way to the back. They're talking about using twang. Now twang, can you guys, Pat and Monica, can you just swallow for me? Do it again for me. Okay, we all just swallowed. So you just use your epiglottal level. And we know our bronchial tube is next to our esophagus. And when we swallow, this little epiglottal level comes over so we don't choke. You know, we say, oh, went down the wrong pipe when you choke on drinking water too fast or something like that. That's literally what they mean. It's like, oh, my bronchial tube's getting covered so food can go down my esophagus. The other function of this epiglottal level is that it goes in just a little bit. It presses in. So the inside of your throat, which is shaped like a cylinder, all of a sudden, this gets pressed in, it becomes a trumpet. So the sound goes bing. Yeah? So I'm going to sing once without using my twang, and then I'm going to sing with it, and you tell me if you hear the difference, yeah? Ah, ah. You hear the difference? Literally, I just decided. I decided to do that. But there are some noises you can make in order to engage your twang if you're not used to projecting your voice. Yeah? So Pat, this time you're going to go first, okay?
Okay.
Can you make a sound like a car for me? And I will go first so you know what I'm talking about. You'll hear my nephews do it constantly. They're 5 and 6. Can you make that noise for me? Good. Good. Now, did you feel that little thing happen? Did you feel your epiglottal level? Okay. Do it again, and this time pay attention. Do it one more time.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Like a little bit, right? It's
Yeah.
not, it doesn't hurt at all, right? It's just like
Right.
a tension you never think about. Like you're
Yeah.
like, oh, there's a little pressure, but yeah, I never think about it because I swallow all the time. Yeah. So that's one of the noises. You just used your twang. Good job. So, Monica, are you ready? All right. Can you cackle like a wicked witch, like old school? Can you do that for me? Okay. Can you get nastier with it? Can you get stankier with it? Can you get like maybe even get your nostrils flaring a little bit?
Okay, I'll try.
Go for it. Go for it. Good. Good. Can you quack like a duck? Quack.
Quack.
Yeah. So you just used it. Did you feel it at all? Do you feel the difference?
A little bit, I think.
Little bit. All right. Now for both of you, I want you to do this. I want you to sing an ah, just like I did. Sing an ah in neutral, like we just practiced. Ah, and then I want you to project it. Ah, see if you can tap into those two things. Yeah. Why don't Pat, you go first? We'll mute.
Is that right?
Can you do two for me? Can you do one not projected and one projected?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. Although I feel there is more, what did my teacher used to say? There's more corn in them fields. You have more projection in you. I know, Pat, you're just being kind. Okay, Monica, you got it? Let's unmute and do it. Here we go. So, and I love that Pat held them out for 8 counts or whatever he did, but you don't have to. You could do them as long as you need. They can be short.
Okay.
Great. Can you do them on the same note? Can you do the same exact note? The other one, when you got higher, you were like, oh, I'll go higher and I'll be louder, which is true, but it's kind of cheating a little bit. Yeah? So can you do the same exact note? But by the way, it could be whatever note you want. I don't care. Good. Is it all making you think now? Everybody's like all thinking? Okay, excellent. Yes, good job. Good job all around. Yes, good job, guys. So there's one more thing. Oh, I wore the worst necklace for this. I want us to talk about overdrive. So overdrive is the mode when you think about Johnny could only sing one note and the note he sang was this. When you think about like old school Ethel Merman Broadway belters. That's what overdrive is. Yes, it's like literally sending sound through your chest. And by the way, it doesn't go that high. It can. Some people are like crazy high at it, but most people it's a little bit more in your like register that's a little lower. Yeah, like you feel a little brassier. And this one can also project. Can you guys just send sound to your chest? I'm going to do it. And then I want you to repeat, yeah? And we can do one at a time. Monica, you'll go first this time. Actually, even O is a better vowel. Oh. So literally my tapping of my chest is what's making the sound vibrate, okay? Do you think you can do that for me, Monica? Go for it. Great. Now do it and tap. Do it one more time. Go. Good. Did you feel it vibrate down there?
Yes.
Yeah, good job. That's overdrive. Pat, you already showed this off to me. Do you think you can do it down there? Can you tap on your chest and make sure you're sending your sound through your sternum?
Oh.
Okay, now I don't want you to necessarily do vibrato, which is level 2. We're not even doing level 2 today, but Pat's ready to graduate. So can you just straight tone, no vibrato? Only from tapping does the sound shake. Oh, almost like when you were kids and we would like hit our mouths. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, that's it, Pat. Did you feel that? Excellent, excellent. Well, I think that's it. You guys, you're the best. I hope you learned something. Yes, you know how to safely project. You know how to use your lower register to do your yelp into the void if you ever need to. Now you guys know how to. Monica, we're going to see more of you later. And Pat, thank you so much and welcome as Executive Director to Delaware County Literacy Council. It's so exciting. Thank you. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, Kathy.
So we went through some technical stuff, what's happening inside your body when you sing. But a lot of singing has to do with what you're thinking about, what you're feeling. And when you are free to express, that's when your voice is the most free. So I always like to tell people, if they are auditioning for something at any level, community theater all the way up to Broadway show, it has to be something that you really love to sing because it says something that you want to say. And that's the beautiful thing about the work that the Literacy Council does. They literally help people have the tools to communicate and to express themselves. And it's such a worthy cause. Is there anything more worthy than that, to give people their voice? So give if you can. It is delcoliteracy.org. That's O-R-G at the end. And I'm just honored that I was asked to be a part of this. And as we say on the Gershwin stage at Wicked, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. Have a great night.
That was amazing. Pat and Monica were very brave to sing on camera like that. And now we have the opportunity to meet one of our 2021 champions of adult literacy. To present the 2021 Community Champion Award, please welcome DCLC instructor Dwayne Belgrave Sr. And to accept the award, please welcome Beverly Donaldson, Executive Director of Neighbor to Neighbor Community Development Corporation in Sharon Hill.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. It's my great privilege to introduce Beverly Donaldson, the Executive Director of Neighbor to Neighbor Community Development Corporation located in Sharon Hill. And it's my honor to present to her the 2021 Community Champion of Literacy Award given by Delaware County Literacy Council. Neighbor to Neighbor is a very deserving organization. They do a lot in the community, work with young folks, young people, as also works with adults. I've had the privilege, as I am an instructor, GED instructor, I've had the opportunity to teach at her location. And she's been very wonderful host and very inviting. And just my pleasure to work with her. Ms. Bev, I want to just turn it over to you. And again, congratulations for being our 2021 recipient of this award.
Thank you so much, Dwayne, and thank you for the Literacy Council for recognizing Neighbor to Neighbor as a community champion of adult literacy. Our organization has been here in Sharon Hill since 1995. We've been doing great work in the community, hopefully. Well, I guess we have, because we've been here for as long as we have. Our main focus today is for our literacy program. Along with taking the GED and preparing for GED, we have an authorized Pearson VUE test center where once the student finishes their GED prep, they can come right here to take their GED exam, a place that they'll be familiar with, and they can go from there. The sky's the limit for them, and we're here to help them reach their goals.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you again.
All right.
Congratulations to Neighbor. Thank you all for the wonderful work that you do. If you're enjoying seeing all these inspiring people and guests and champions, remember, guys, we need you. Go to delcoliteracy.org, and that is where they make it very easy for you to donate your money. You can even purchase a premium package and get a personal session with one of tonight's experts. Can you imagine learning from these professionals? So we're going to see exactly how things are going so far, and also take a look at the fundraising thermometer. Here it is.
Good evening, everyone. I am Kevin Morgan, and I am part of the DCLC staff. Alexander, Robert, and I will be checking in throughout the evening to let you know the progress. As Lucy said, goal of $50,000. We have many generous supporters, so I'm sure we will surpass our goal of $50,000. You can do your part by going to delcoliteracy.org and clicking the donate button. As you see so far, we are at $7,493. We can do better. Remember to donate at delcoliteracy.org. The link for the premium package is there as well. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Guys, thank you so much. Keep those donations coming in. A lot of people need your support. So now, remember how we said we were going to have some surprises? Well, this is it. As you know, we're raising money for the Delaware County Literacy Council, and all of our experts have ties to Delaware County. Well, this next person literally put Delaware County, not to mention our trademark accent, on the map with the recent Emmy-winning HBO series, Mayor of Easttown. So Brad Inglesby, he is a graduate of Villanova University. He got his master's degree in screenwriting from the American Film Institute in Los Angeles and has written the films Run All Night, American Woman, The Way Back, and Our Friend, starring Casey Affleck, John Siegel, and Dakota Johnson. Major star power here. Now, you might know him as the creator, producer, and writer of Mayor of Easttown, so starring Kate Winslet. If you watched the Emmys last month, you probably heard Kate and other actors thank him from the podium. Well, guess what? He is here, and he's going to share a message of support for the Delaware Literacy Council and tonight's event. Welcome, Brad Inglesby.
Hey everyone, it's Brad Inglesby. I'm in Irvine, California at the moment, but have lots of ties to Delaware County and Chester County. In fact, I just wrote a show about the area. It's called Mayor of Easttown. And I've been hanging out here in Irvine, working on a bunch of writing projects. And but all of them, they all seem to be about the area and writing about home, which always excites me the most. I'm here tonight to ask for your help in supporting adult literacy. I know myself how important it was as a child to read stories and to learn about how stories impact people emotionally. It was such an important part of my childhood. And I know right now what it meant to me and how important it is to encourage people to, of any age really, to seek out books and learn, and what that could mean in terms of second chances and also opportunities in life, and just how important it is. So if you're wondering what you can do to help, well, don't just watch this telethon. You can also donate at www.delcoliteracy.org. That's www.delcoliteracy.org.
Thank you so much, Brad. Follow his advice, guys. Go to delcoliteracy.org, show your support. And of course, remember, you can have access to these people if you donate. And we're ready for our next expert workshop. This one I'm really looking forward to. Chef Alex Garfinkel, who started his business out of his parents' kitchen in Wallingford, Pennsylvania. He's going to show us how to prepare tapas 3 ways. Alex is the chef and co-owner of Balboa Catering in Philadelphia, and he really knows his stuff. So without further ado, let's get cooking.
Hi, my name is Alex Garfinkel, and I'm the chef and owner of Balboa Catering, and I'm here to cook some food with you. I'm here to share some of my favorite dishes from Spain with you, along with some tips and tricks along the way. The first dish we're going to make tonight is called escalivada. Can be any number of vegetables that have been slowly cooked and delicately prepared and marinated. That's usually served on top of a freshly sliced baguette and traditionally served with a young chev, goat cheese, mixed with thyme and roasted garlic. Today we're going to do that with roasted and marinated red bell peppers, which is one of my favorites. And lastly, we're going to do a quick snack with some fresh peaches and a Montenegro cheese on a little charcoal cracker that we made. So the first thing, before we get into making the escalivada, is we're going to marinate some lamb loin for tonight's entree dish we're making. Here we have some cleaned lamb loin that I marinate in something called shio koji. Shio koji is an amazing product that can help break down and marinate proteins, pickle vegetables. We use it a lot in our cooking. It has a lot of deep umami flavor notes to it. It's also a little bit on the salty side. So it's great for marinating fish and meats. And we just, before we start today, we put a little bit, about a tablespoon on top of the lamb loin here and let it sit and marinate. This is in lieu of salting it ahead of time. We are also going to take something called a yuzu koshu, which is this condiment here, and right next to it we also have something called a pepper koshu. It is a preserve also made with koji. This is made with the yuzu zest and koji rice and a lot of salt, about 7 to 8% by weight. And then the pepper koji is made with a lot of red chili peppers without the citrus zest. So we're going to take a little bit of the yuzu. This is very spicy. Going to delicately brush it on. I'm going to brush it on both sides. And let that marinate in there. For sake of comparison, we're going to use the red koshu on the other one. And our taste testers tonight, my parents, Amy and Don Garfinkel, will get to tell me which one they like better. Just about a teaspoon or so per loin. So we're going to let this rest and sit out at room temperature for the next 15 minutes while we cook some other things. We roasted peppers earlier, and we have them here in this bowl. And one other quick thing I can show you is traditionally people roast their peppers straight over the fire, which is fine, or just in the oven whole like this. I find a nice happy balance when you slice the bottoms off and the tops off. This will allow a little bit of steam to escape and it will sit flat. We can then put a little bit of canola oil on the skin to help it roast before popping it in the oven. So we're just going to pop this in the oven and roast this off. So here we have our finished roasted red peppers. After they came out of the oven, we put them in a mixing bowl and put some plastic wrap on top. That allowed them to steam and it will help us get the skin to come right off. So as you can see, the skin's peeling right off. This step where you put them in the mixing bowl and let them steam for at least 15-20 minutes is definitely critical, or else you will be standing here all day trying to pull the skin off. There we have it. Peel of bell peppers. We're then going to remove the seeds. You don't have to remove all the seeds. It's an aesthetic decision that each of us can make for ourselves. So you want to make sure as you're looking at your roasted red bell peppers, they should appear to be roasted. You can definitely, when you're doing them straight on the fire, they can be undercooked and they're going to feel a little more firm. Then you can also overcook your bell peppers. So you really want to find the nice medium where the skin is coming off and the peppers are nice and soft. Starting to get nice and sweet. All right, once we have our clean peppers, then we're just going to do a quick julienne. And julienne is the French name for a thin slice. then we're gonna put them right back into this mixing bowl here. The next step is to marinate the peppers. So for that, we roasted some garlic by putting the whole head of garlic with the tip cut off into a small little metal container with a little bit of oil, a little bit of water, and just wrapped up in tin foil. We roasted that in the oven at 300 degrees for an hour and a half till it came out golden brown as we see here. So we're just gonna peel the cloves out, and we're just gonna pop about 3 of these cloves right into this mixing bowl with the peppers. The rest of the garlic we want to save for the roasted garlic chev that we're going to be making in a second. So outside the roasted garlic, we're going to need a hefty amount of olive oil. We are using a Bottiluco olive oil. So we're going to put about 2 ounces of olive oil into there. We're going to make sure to add some fresh cracked black pepper, a little bit of kosher salt, roughly about half a teaspoon, a little bit of nice aged sherry vinegar, about half a tablespoon, and lastly, some picked thyme. So you can pick it right in there. So you just need about 4 or 5 sprigs of thyme. You're going to peel the small leaves off the sprigs. We're just going to mix it around. We're going to make sure that we take a spoon, in this case a little spatula, and we're going to smash the roasted garlic in there. There's one more thing that goes into this marinated pepper mixture. That's some fresh parsley. Now, if you're going to make this ahead of time, you can make this a couple of days ahead of time and let it marinate in your fridge. I wouldn't suggest adding the parsley until the day that you're going to enjoy it. Because we're going to enjoy this in a little bit, we're going to add it right now. So we have some picked parsley here. We're going to grab a little bunch. We're going to roll it up into a small ball, keeping it tightly in place with our fingers. And it's a very fine slice. It's called a chiffonade. You want to use your knuckles to guide your knife so that you're careful not to cut your fingers. A lot of parsley goes into this. The acid in the peppers are going to start to cook the parsley. So it does need a little bit of time in with the mix. Next up, we have to make our roasted garlic chev. For the spread, we have some roasted garlic goat cheese in our food processor. You can do this by hand in a mixing bowl or in a blender as well. We're going to add the remainder of our roasted garlic from our one head. We are going to add some more picked thyme. Or in Spain, they will say tomillo. About 4 or 5 sprigs again. Should be enough for this. You'd be surprised with a little bit of thyme how far that goes. A little bit of salt. Should season everything. Some cracked black pepper. A little bit of olive oil. We're going to whip it in here. We're going to let this go about 2 minutes and let it just whip and aerate before taking it out. I'm going to add a little fresh parsley to this as well, just at the end. And then of course we have to taste it. Delicious. We're going to take it out and put it into our deli pint container here for use in just a second. This stuff will last in your fridge for up to a week if well wrapped and protected. So we're going to finish making the escalivada bite right now. We have a fresh baguette over here. We're just going to cut some biased slices. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil on both sides, and we're going to grill them off on our grill pan. So we have a hot grill pan here. Just going to char it. In this pot right here, we have a little bit of warm onion tapenade as a second type of escalivado that we're making. We did this one in homage to French onion soups everywhere. So we caramelized a lot of onions and brought them down like we were making French onion soup. And then we cooked on top of that a very decadent chicken demi-stock. So all the flavors of French onion soup are compressed into this small amount of condiment that goes on top of toast. And you can caramelize some nice aged Swiss cheese or Gruyere to finish it off. So, lightly toasted bread on both sides. Let's go back over here. Here we have our grilled bread, and we're going to make two different types of escalivada for you to try today. So the first type, we have our roasted garlic chev. We're going to liberally spread that onto the warm toast. You can really smell all those flavors coming out now when it hits the heat. Then we're going to add the marinated roasted red peppers. For the second bite, we have the French onion soup toast. We have our onions here, deeply caramelized with chicken stock, thyme and cherry vinegar. It smells like French onion soup. It's incredible. Then we have a really nice cave-aged, truffle-infused cheese here. Just gonna lay some of this cheese on top. And then there you have it. So what we have here is some amazing marinated lamb loin, along with some seasonal spring vegetables, some spring onions, and baby purple carrots. So first we're going to slice our spring onions in half and our carrots in half so they cook a little quicker, and we have a nice flush side to char them on in our cast iron pans. We have our grill pan on high, and we're going to grill off the lamb loins on both sides, just let them rest for about 10 to 15 minutes for slicing. And we will finish our vegetables in a little smoker that we have, a tabletop smoker, just to give them a touch of smoke to finish the plate. We like to add weights to certain vegetables to make sure that the flush side of the vegetable gets a nice clean sear. So we like to use other cast iron pans, and we're just putting them on top of the carrots to make sure that they cook evenly. To make sure we don't get any sticking for the lamb loin, we're going to make sure that we brush oil over our grates. So here we have lamb marinated in shio and yuzu koshu with a little bit of golden tomato emulsion, black sesame vinaigrette, arugula pudding, some charred spring onions, and baby carrots, along with a fresh heirloom tomato salad. So we're gonna do a really quick snack, or a pincho, if you're in northern Spain. We have some delicious ripe peaches, Montenegro goat's milk cheese, and some charcoal crackers we have here. We're just gonna slice into the stone fruit here around the pit. I'm gonna slice little sashimi style slices. To go on top of the bites. Very fresh. We're going to take some of the Montenegro cheese. I'm just going to smear some on. The imperfection in this process can be part of the beauty of it. Sometimes it's nice when everything looks the same. Sometimes it's nice when everything looks a little different. So we have our peach bites here with the Montenegro cheese and a little bit of a peach liqueur. We're going to finish it just a little bit of purslane, foraged right around here. Purslane is a wild weed. It's got a great flavor, nice and crisp. Just gonna stick it into the side of the cheese so it doesn't fly away on us. There you have it.
Alex, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, great food. Remember, you can enjoy a specially prepared dinner at Alex's restaurant by purchasing the Chef Premium Package. Just get right to delcoliteracy.org. And that is just going to be a great donation to so many people who need the services. Well, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the 2021 Hometown Hero Champion of Adult Literacy, Dr. Monica Taylor. Dr. Taylor is Vice Chair of the County Council in Delaware County. She is the Workforce Liaison for the County Council. So her leadership has a direct impact on the DCLC students who are working to improve their skills and land a family-sustaining job. That's the big picture, a career. Dr. Taylor has also been instrumental in helping Delaware County plan and develop the soon-to-be launched County Health Department, which is a much-needed resource that's going to benefit all Delaware County residents. So, Dr. Taylor, congratulations on being named a champion of adult literacy.
Thank you, Lucy, and thank you to the Delaware County Literacy Council. I am honored to accept this award tonight. The Delaware County Literacy Council was formed 46 years ago in 1975 by community members in Chester who noticed their neighbors were struggling because their reading, writing, and math skills weren't strong. In the past 46 years, more than 20,000 adults have chosen the Literacy Council as a place to achieve their goals. Some are new immigrants seeking English language skills so they can restart careers they pursued in their home countries. Some are residents returning from incarceration who are ready for a second chance. Some never finished high school and are striving to earn their GED. And some are working to overcome challenges and need a little encouragement and a safe place to learn. During the pandemic, the Literacy Council moved most of its services online, thanks to the resilience of their staff, volunteers, and students. They were able to serve many residents throughout the community in an online setting. When Pennsylvania enacted the COVID-19 shutdown in March of 2020, over 270 adults were attending DCLC classes at locations across the county. DCLC reached out to each and every student to ask how they were dealing with the pandemic and to determine their ability and willingness to handle online learning situations. Based on that outreach, students were able to successfully transition to an online learning format, and DCLC assisted students with information on how to access local food banks and other COVID-19 resources. This is remarkable. Thank you for all of your dedication. I share your passion in wanting to help our residents succeed and live healthy and meaningful lives. As a mom of 3 daughters and a professor, I understand the value of literacy. Literacy plays a vital role in transforming people into socially engaged and healthy members of our community. Being able to read and write allows us to keep up with current events, communicate effectively, and understand the issues that are shaping our world today. To the staff and volunteers at Delaware County Literacy Council, thank you for this award. Thank you for working each and every day to improve the lives of our residents. I'm honored to be named Champion of Literacy, and I vow to continue to help you champion this cause around our county. Thank you.
Dr. Taylor, congratulations once again. I think it's time to check in now with our thermometer and see how things are going. Let's take a look.
Hello, I'm Allison Preby, also a member of the DCLC staff. Thank you so much for giving. If you haven't done so, please go to delcoliteracy.org and help us reach our telethon goal of $50,000. Let's take a look at our total so far. Well, that's great. With all your help, we're up to $9,228.89. We hope you'll join all of the generous DCLC supporters and make a donation. Your gift makes a difference in the lives of local adults. That's delcoliteracy.org. And don't forget to check out the link to premium packages while you're there. Thank you so much. Now back to the show.
All right, now we have a real treat for you, an expert workshop on writing for television, guys. Phil Rosenthal, the creator and producer of the beloved TV comedy Everybody Loves Raymond. He's also the creator and the host of Somebody Feed Phil, which is an unscripted documentary series currently running on Netflix that combines his love of food and travel with the really unique brand of humor. So Phil is married to actress Monica Horan Rosenthal, a Delaware County native, and everybody loves these two. Fans of Everybody Loves Raymond will recognize Monica as Amy McDougal Barone from the show. Monica actually has been very gracious to moderate the workshop by interviewing her own husband, Phil, about comedy writing. So please enjoy this revealing look inside the mind of a comedy writer writing for television, how I made my life into a sitcom.
Hi, and welcome to the Delaware County Literacy Council Expert Academy Online Telethon Masterclass, Writing for Television, How I Made My Life into a Sitcom, with the creator of Everybody Loves Raymond, Phil Rosenthal.
Greetings.
I'm Monica Horan Rosenthal, Amy from Everybody Loves Raymond, and I'm also married to Phil.
What a coincidence.
Oh, Phil, thank you for joining me in the family room for your class.
I was here anyway.
Did you like the title, by the way?
I think it's a very classy title.
I came up with that.
Makes me sound very good.
You're very good.
Thank you.
Very good. And I thought, Phil, that we could use your book, You're Lucky You're Funny, How Life Becomes a Sitcom, as kind of like a little template for the class.
Yes.
And I did want to mention that in the book, you do refer to me as your sweet and lovely bride, Monica.
That was written a long time ago.
Very long time ago.
But she's still sweet and lovely and a beautiful shill for the book.
Well, I thought it was a good tie-in with the Delaware County Literacy Council.
Yes.
And I think we'll be sending your book to the council. Yes. So, Philip.
Yes.
This is a class about writing for television.
Yes.
So I think we would start with the question, did you always want to be a writer?
No.
What did you want to be?
I thought I was going to be an actor. I thought I would be a comedic actor because that's what I saw on TV. I watched The Honeymooners and The Dick Van Dyke Show and shows like that and All in the Family, and I thought, oh, they're funny. I want to be like them. So that's what I pursued in school, and I was encouraged to do so. I was a big star in high school and college, and then when I moved into New York after college, New York didn't care that I was a big star in high school and college. And so I struggled for several years. Not everything was terrible, met a nice girl, but I couldn't really get a job acting or even an agent. And then some friends of ours and I wrote a show for ourselves to be in. And that turned into something successful. And at the same time, my friend Alan came over to my house with a word processor. Your parents might know what that is. It was a predecessor to the computer. And we wrote a screenplay and we sold it. Our very first thing, we sold it to HBO for a lot of money. I went from being a 100-aire to being a 1,000-aire, and from eating tuna fish for dinner as an actor to eating whatever I wanted as a writer. And so that decision was made for me. Then I moved to Hollywood and I, started to write spec scripts. A spec script is a script you write for free to demonstrate that you know how to write a script. And there are classes you can take in that, in how to write a specific sitcom, for example, or if you're a drama writer, there's classes you can take to write dramas or novels or screenplays. So I always recommend that to people.
What sitcoms did, and how did you pick what spec script to write?
Well, I had odd jobs in my years in New York, struggling. Like I was a guard at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And I worked from midnight to 8 in the morning one shift, and I wasn't very good at it. In fact, I was so bad at it that I fell asleep on a 300-year-old bed during my shift. And they don't really like when you do that at the museum. And so I was fired, and it was humiliating. It was the worst thing that ever happened to me. But about 7 years later, when I was in Hollywood and wondering what spec script I should write, we thought of Roseanne, which was on at the time. That was 1989, my partner and I. But what are we going to write about? I said, well, what if her husband gets a night job because he needs extra money at the local museum and he falls asleep on a 300-year-old bed? And we wrote this and we sent it around town, and all the agents and the studios were saying, what an imagination. We have to hire these people. So that was, you never know what's going to be your break. I tell everybody, get as many jobs as you can, because writing comes from real life, and you can't write about real life unless you have one.
And you also say, quite often, write what you know.
Yes.
And so
that's not just me who says it.
Yeah.
Many people have said that for many years. I didn't come up with that, but it turns out to be true. You all have individuality. That's what separates you from the person you're sitting next to or across from you or down the street. Your personality is everything you've experienced filtered through the way you think. So use that whenever you can, because only you have that. Your experience filtered through the way you think. Only you have that. And so write what you know comes directly from that.
And also, I remember you talking about a template, though, because you can write, and there's short stories, there's screenplays, there's all that. But for sitcom in particular, was there some class you took or some way that you learned that form? I
had a mentor. I had Alan Kirschenbaum, who was my friend from high school, who had been doing this, and he understood the structure of a sitcom. It's very specific, and you can go to class to learn that. I just happen to have him. But for those of you who don't have him, go to take a class, because you can learn, anyone can learn the template, the structure of the sitcom, right? What you can't learn is being funny or having talent, but you won't find out until you take the class and write something. The class is great because at the very least, you're going to exit that class with a script. That's what every class does, is makes you write a script. So if you need that extra discipline and that extra
deadline
kick in the butt, that's the best way.
And don't you have a good story? I mean, this is very rare that something like this would happen, but didn't you actually give that advice to a new writer?
Yeah.
And then that writer took the class, and her teacher and that writer, Cindy Shupak,
yes,
ended up writing on the show, right?
Ended up writing on Raymond because I saw their work. She sent me the work that she had done in the class with her teacher, who became her partner, and I hired them both.
Amazing. That's a very unique story. You can go on with anything else, but I have that question. I also want to share with people, when you say always quit, what do you mean? That's another thing. Just like write what you know, but you also say always quit. Is that jumping ahead to already getting a show on the air?
Yes, I think once that comes from, when you're young and hungry, you need to take any job. I don't say always quit to you, but when you're in a position to have it your way, and let's say you're writing a show about your family, let's say, and they want to change it. Well, I felt, for example, writing about my family, that I knew what I was writing about better than them. Wasn't an ego thing. It was just, they don't know my family as well as I do. And I know this to be true. Now, I did have some confidence because I had been working for about 5 years writing sitcoms on other people's show. And I knew what I liked and I knew what I didn't like. That's very important. So if someone comes along and wants you to change something so inherently important in your work, you listen very carefully. There might be a good note in there, but if you can't go along with it and you think they're ruining it, well, I say quit, because you're not going to get that chance again. Now, this is if, you're not going to have to sell your house, or not going to have to worry about where your next meal is coming from. But it goes to integrity, and it turns out that when you quit, at least in the cases, most of the cases that I've had where I've quit, they've always come back because they thought, oh, maybe he knows something that we don't know. However, you have to be prepared for it not to work out. But if it doesn't, I always think it wasn't meant to be. Yeah. It would have been terrible anyway. So that's what I mean by always quit. But I don't, when I say always quit, I don't mean always quit.
So why don't you talk about some of those earlier jobs then, and and what it's like to write, maybe not,
Well, it's a job. You can learn how to do that job from any show, about how shows work and what a writer's room is like, and what the schedule is like, and you're going to learn things that you love to do and want to incorporate when you might be in charge, and you're going to learn just as much, if not more, about what not to do. But that's life in general, isn't it? I'm sure everyone's had a job where they thought, if I ran the thing, I think I wouldn't do what this guy is doing. And so that's just natural. My first show that I worked on, that I got hired for, was as a staff writer with my partner on the Robert Mitchum sitcom. Now, a lot of people who are younger don't even know who Robert Mitchum is, but he was an actor from the 1940s and 50s, and he was a tough guy. And your parents, if you tell them the Robert Mitchum sitcom, they would say, why is he in a sitcom? Which is what the whole audience thought as well. And yet, I learned a lot. I learned about how to write on a sitcom.
Very good, very good. Yes. Did you ever do any other kind of writing before that?
Again, wrote the play with my friends, and I wrote the screenplay with my friend Alan, and that was pretty much it for writing. I didn't really think I was going to be a writer, but now I'm a writer.
But even when you were little, you kind of were the Toastmaster, weren't you?
When I was little, I guess I was a little Toastmaster. Yes, I would try to stay up late, and I would try to make jokes, and I would try to be funny so that I could stay up late with them and have some cake.
So is there any other advice, especially now everybody loves Raymond. What year did that premiere? Was it 90?
25 years ago this year,
Yeah.
1996.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you, Amy.
Thank you. So now that that was so long ago and you're writing now, what advice would you have for people in this climate, in this
it's what I would tell
there's
my
so much material, there's so much content out there, and there's so many different avenues.
It's what I tell our own kids, and that is stop eating all my food. No, I say, please write your own ticket, because no one is out there going to write it for you. You have to, if you want to, let's say, be in a show, you should write that show. If you want to be in a movie, you should write that movie. Because, and you have the phone. The phone is this wonderful studio in your pocket. You can shoot it, record it, edit it, and then push one button and it's out there to the world. So if you're good, it's going to get out there. Now, my first advice before you just go off half-cocked and shoot something is take the class, so you know in advance that you have the skills to do it. And that class might also involve shooting on the iPhone. That's a class, right? Making a movie on an iPhone. You might want to invest in, more equipment, but you'll need a class in how to work that stuff, right? But make it yourself is the key to everything. Nobody's going to just hand you your career.
And in a way, we did that when we were writing our own shows and doing that, but it is a very different thing now because of just technology being involved, the access to so much. But it almost in some ways seems harder because
of all the competition.
Yeah, of all the competition.
Well, anyone can make a TikTok, but at the same time, anyone can make a TikTok that gets millions of views.
Yeah.
And they do give people shows who get millions of views.
Right.
The trick is how to be good enough to get millions of views.
And also how to have blinders on so that you're really just focused on your own material, your own story, your own voice. That I think is harder for people today than it was when we were doing it. It was easier to stick in our own lane when you didn't constantly have, in your face what everybody else was doing. How are you able to just really focus and
I'm not. Who said anything that I'm good at focusing? I'm not. I mean, I've been very lucky also. Luck is a good part, good thing to have. I recommend being lucky. But we were always confronted with, maybe not to the extent where you can see how everyone in the world is doing compared to you nowadays, but we had our friends and they were either doing better or worse than us, and we if you're a human being, you can't help but compare your progress to other human beings. It's just way easier now to maybe what your point is to get distracted. The phone can also be this, it's this powerful tool that we can use for good, but it can also be the worst distraction in the world. Even the computer that I write on is connected to the world's biggest distraction.
Yeah.
So that's hard. So when you say you're focused, no, I jump at the chance to look at the internet and do anything else but write.
And one of the things that's really funny to me is when he started, you wrote like Mark Twain. You would be in bed with the legal pad writing, and that was a discipline.
I'm exactly like Mark Twain.
On that note, Philip, is there any other wisdom you'd like to impart to the students?
I'm going to give you the best advice I ever got, and it was from an old showrunner that I worked for. When I was writing the pilot of Everybody Loves Raymond, I asked him for advice, and he said this: do the show you want to do, because in the end, they're going to cancel you anyway. That's my advice to you. Do the show you want to do. That's a philosophy of life. Live your life, people.
Excellent. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you, Monica. You're welcome in my house anytime.
Pleasure. And thank you all for watching Philip's Masterclass, and thank you for supporting the Delaware County Literacy Council.
That was amazing. Phil, Monica, thank you both. Just a great time watching you. And now it's time for a quick look at the fundraising progress at this point.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Robert Lee, and I too am a member of the DCLC staff. I hope you've enjoyed all the great workshops. We're here to celebrate adult literacy and support the free literacy services provided by Delaware County Literacy Council. Thanks for your generous donations. Let's check the thermometer to see if we're closer to reaching our $50,000 goal. It looks like we're getting closer. Your generosity has helped us get to $11,582. But don't stop now. Go to delcoliteracy.org and check out the premium packages link while you're there. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. And do not forget to get those donations in. Go to delcoliteracy.org. And while you're there, check out the premium packages available from our experts. Everything tonight has been incredibly inspiring. I know I've learned a lot, but this next interview is going to remind us why we're here, why you and I care about Delaware County Literacy Council, because of the adults who come to DCLC to change their lives. And you're actually about to meet one of those amazing people. We're now going to honor our student champion, Tamaji Kentangar. Tamaji has reached some significant milestones since coming to the United States just a few years ago. His hard work and concern for others is just compelling. So to hear all about it and to celebrate Tamaji as the 2021 Student Champion of Adult Literacy, let's welcome Tamaji, who will be interviewed by Everybody Loves Raymond star, Monica Horan Rosenthal.
Hello, I'm Monica Horan Rosenthal. You remember me from earlier. Right now, it is my privilege to introduce Tamaji Kentangar. Tamaji is the 2021 Student Champion of Adult Literacy for Delaware County Literacy Council. Tamaji is originally from Chad in Central Africa, and he is pursuing a career in supply chain management and logistics. An incredible human being. I am so happy to introduce Tamaji.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you for having me.
So I think the first thing that I want to know is how you came to find the Delaware County Literacy Council. What brought you here?
Thank you for your question. When I arrived at the United States of America, the first thing I thought was to improve my English communication. So I used to travel to New York twice a week to learn English at American Center Language. And my friend Rene Erickson told me about the Delaware, the DCLC. And since then, I became a member of this entity.
What were your, when you came here, speaking English obviously is a huge goal, but what was your greater goal in coming here in the first place to the United States and to also use the language that you are learning?
Yes. In 2008, I was watching the TV and I saw children were dying because there was a lack of logistician. So I decided to let the construction job that I had before and apply to save the children. When I went there, we were working in front line, and we lost our manager. And since then, the office was closed, and I applied to UNICEF to work for the children. Since I came to visit my wife here in United States. And when I arrived, she complained because I used to see her every 2 years. That's why I decided to go back and start learning and to help me adapting to the new life in United States.
Wow. You You're a marathoner, not a sprinter. That takes a lot for 2 years to get together with your wife and to be so devoted to your work. You're a global thinker. It's very clear. So that's a lot of work. So you were working for UNICEF at that time before you came here and saved the children. Wow, that's amazing. And so what was the process, if you don't mind my asking, that you went through with the council when you found out this through a friend, and then what was the first step, and then how did it evolve to these other career advice, and what kind of advice, and how was that, what were the logistics, I guess I should say?
Yeah, first when I arrived at the center, they tested me. I passed the test, and they show me which level I should be. Mm-hmm. So after the test, I was with the teacher Khalil for some time, and in meantime, when I was taking class, I was also registered with Wilma. My employment coach. So we were working on resume, motivation letter, and also on the career, because I did construction. And as I explained you, since I discovered that the need for logistician is important, my goal is to have a degree in operation and supply chain management.
Your story, excuse me, is it's so inspirational on so many levels. I mean, just the ability to locate respond to an issue that you're observing, and you already made a living. You had a job. You were with construction, and now you are deciding to build something else entirely, and the work it takes and the humility it takes to go back and learn, and being in that position of the unknown. And it's very vulnerable, but I think you're such a great example to people to say, it's possible. There are people out there. We hear so many things of negative in the world, and the majority of us are working together, not against. And so I think that this is another great reason for why we're so happy that you share your story in this way, because we always want to make this available to others, but it takes so much work, and that's why you're a hero. That's why you get this award, because it's not typical, and many times we have to keep going back and trying again. But you've had an amazing trajectory. So you are. I heard that you had not even planned to become a citizen. What was that inspiration and journey to then go for your citizenship?
Yes, when I figured out that the life people around me are amazing, and the country offered the opportunity to learn. At the same time, you can still do the job that will pay you, and at the same time you have also some opportunity to help people in need. I decided to become a citizen and do the same thing that at the center the Delaware Council people do for me. So wow. I said, okay, I decided to apply for the citizenship. And for doing that, I was thinking in two ways. Either go to the lawyer, take lawyer to help me. But I thought, I say, if in the education, the DCLC helped me, in the same way, if I go and I meet them, they can also do the same thing for me. That's why I went to the office and I met Deb, and I talk her about the process. And she said, "Oh, Peter can help you. Peter can help you because Peter usually do for other students." So if you available, I will make appointment with Peter and you will follow the step.
Is there anything that I haven't that you would like to say to anybody out there listening?
I am proud. I am proud to know the DCLC. And if today I arrive to have first, this means a lot for me. Yeah, this means really a lot for me. When I look at every time I remember how good people are around me, how good people are in DCLC. And if there are someone that is listening to me, they can go to the DCLC for any issue about the education. They will meet wonderful people that can help them. And don't let your age discourage you to learn, because when you go there, they know exactly where they will put you to learn. And for people who want to support the DCLC, if you want to invest, DCLC is a good thing to do. So you can help people like they help me to succeed in my education. And I know the most important thing is to be educated. When you are educated, you can change life, you can impact the world, change, improve the life of people around you.
Thank you, Tamaji. It's been an honor to get to speak to you.
Thank you.
I look forward to the next time.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for your time and for everything you guys do for me.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, I'm Rick Durante.
And I'm Jen Stock.
Jen and I are co-presidents of the Delaware County Literacy Council's Board of Directors.
We're extremely grateful that you could join us for this exciting evening of learning and of celebrating adult literacy.
On behalf of the entire board, we would like to congratulate this year's champions, Tamaji Kantagar, Neighbor to Neighbor, and Dr. Monica Taylor.
We would also like to thank our sponsors, especially our major and supporting sponsors, including Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union, Sun East Federal Credit Union,
Pico, and Brinker Simpson.
And thanks to our experts and special guests, too. You really made the evening special.
And of course, thanks most of all to everyone who donated this evening and helped our fundraising thermometer keep rising and rising. We consider you champions of adult literacy, too.
All of you who shared your time, talent, and treasure are truly making a difference in the lives of our students, helping them take steps to develop their reading, writing, math, and English language skills so they can thrive in the workplace and the community. We thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, and good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Rick and Jen, and thank you to all of our sponsors. We're trying to reach that $50,000 mark, so let's check in one more time, see how we're doing, and remember, guys, you can share the donate information with your friends and your family after the event.
On behalf of Allison and Kevin and myself, we want to thank you so much for your generous support this evening. It's drum roll time. Our total for the evening is $18,734. Great job, everyone. Remember, you can still donate at delcoliteracy.org even after the telethon is over. And you can purchase a premium package from now until October 30th. Have a wonderful evening.
That is an amazing result. Thank you so much for donating. It has been wonderful to be with you tonight. A very big thank you goes to all of you who joined us for the telethon, especially to those who donated. We also want to thank our experts, our sponsors, you're wonderful, our special guests, our champions, and all of the inspiring students, especially who study at the Literacy Council. After watching those expert workshops, we see what it means to be a beginner and to be brave enough to try something new. Just like the students who take that big, brave step to change their lives just by showing up at the Literacy Council. I hope that we will leave you singing, thinking of delicious food, and finding those funny moments in your life that just might become a TV script. Thank you for supporting Delaware County Literacy Council. Good night and be well.